Good morning and happy Monday. Today's August 30th. It's a blustery day out here, end of the month. Austin, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Andrew. Looking forward to getting into some news about some companies that we really like. Some really exciting updates that came out end of last week over the weekend. Just want to quickly, before we get into it, remind everyone it's a big fall coming up. Some really exciting news. We're going to have updates on our favorite companies pretty much every day that we're on now with the rate the news is coming out. So make sure you're liked and subscribed to the YouTube channel. You're following us on our social medias. And we're going to do our best to keep you in the loop as a really exciting and really busy fall kind of starts to get going here.
Absolutely. Let's just jump right off because I like to, we jump around to all sorts of exciting stories, but Goliath has put out some of those numbers, and we've talked about this one because it's the prospective chance of the model they have. It's very attractive because it's near at surface, very shallow depths that they're doing. It's a new project from receded glacial areas of northern BC. This is what makes this one exciting because the model looking into it was easy for someone to look at and go, okay, I see what they're looking at. And if you take a step back too, this is one that Quinton Henning and Crescat Capital has backed and is a big fan of. Dr. Quinton Henning is really excited about the results. So we have 3 of the holes back, which is great. And so they've announced 35.72 meters of 6.37 gold equivalent. And that's great. That's excellent. And what that is specifically is 4.46 grams per ton gold and 122.13 grams per ton silver. This is a really great maiden drill program for this property in an area that they kind of had suggested to me they weren't as confident in. So it's exciting. It's excellent. Does it guarantee anything? No, but it certainly is enhancing that model they have. And certainly Dr. Quinton Henning is very optimistic about it. In the news release, there's a quote in there. I won't quote it for verbatim, but he's quite impressed with what he's seen there. And they're looking forward to expanding that, having another 10 results that should be coming back. I don't know for sure, but I mean, it could, maybe next week there's more, or 2 weeks from now. I don't know, but we have the first 3 holes, very, very promising. And that's really, it's exciting because you can see how this can actually become a mine. And with those kind of grades, it becomes economic. And so far, I mean, it's early stage, so don't get me wrong. I'm trying not to get too excited here, but it certainly is a very, very good result back. Never mind that the indications leading up, this is the first actual assays with some numbers, and it's confirming their thesis. And big news.
Yeah, it's confirming that they've got this, and it says it right in the release, an extensive and robust nature of the system at the project that they have. And that's what's so encouraging about it. I think they've got 13 holes total that they've drilled or looked at, ranging anywhere from 23 to 67 meters, and everything's coming back in a really encouraging way. So it's awesome news for them, and it is easy to get excited about when you start to look at those numbers.
Yeah, no, it's very good. And people say, well, you didn't knock it out of the park. Well, that's fine. You don't need to. I mean, it's at surface basically, and that's pretty hard to find. So that's what makes this quite appealing, is someone can see how would we approach this to actually put up a mine. I'm way ahead of myself when I'm talking like this, but that's something you kind of keep in the back of your mind, like, oh, okay, this story is developing. The model is being hit. This is very promising. So, and that's what we look for, right? It's like anything in life, is that you start off with a thesis, with a model, and then you wait for data results to come back in. If it looks like 99.96% is good, nothing to fear.
There you go.
I just had to throw that in there. But this is certainly not that. This is just a good first step of actual data come in that helps to reconfirm what they've been looking at. And like I said, whenever I've talked with Roger, he said, listen, that step out there, that edge there, we were less confident in from whenever, I mean, they've poked around that mountain for so long. But hey, more results coming, 10 more holes. And I think they expanded, they've got 2 drill rigs going right now, and I think another 1,000 meters to go. And once again, sometimes people go, well, 1,000 meters, that's not really a lot. You're at surface, and you're not having to go way down. Like when you looked at, out in Red Lake or like with Amex Exploration or any of these other great companies out there, they're doing hundreds of thousands of meters because you're having to spread out and you're going down very deep. And you need to find, you better find some great numbers and very big lengths to make it economic. This is an outstanding first result. And the market's reflecting it already. The market's already, it's up quite a bit. And I mean, let me just kind of, I think it was up 12%. What is it right now? Oh, it's up 11 cents. So up 10% right now. So great news for Goliath Resources. You're going to see a lot more news streaming in the fall. But yeah, that's a big story today.
Really encouraging, really exciting. And it kind of leads into, you know, something we didn't talk about on Friday, came out on Friday with Desert Mountain Energy. That was really encouraging. They've completed the testing of well number 4, and they've got more encouraging results over there. I know this is something you've been such a big fan of Desert Mountain over the last couple of years. And so this must be exciting to kind of just, they're continuing to check those boxes, hey?
Absolutely. And it's been pretty quiet over there, which is I never think is being nervous. There's lots of work going on for sure. This is the 4th hole. It's looking good, and they're doing all the flow tests, and they're getting all of their data together right now as we speak. So this is, each step is critical, but they've already mapped out 3 wells already. So they're well on their way. The 4th one's done. We're going to have a lot of data coming in between now over the fall. So we'll get some data coming in over the fall for production in January, first quarter-ish of 2022. This isn't just a what do you call it? One result is going to change the world type thing. This company has been hitting its markers and milestones, at an amazing pace for a company. And I know today a lot of people, want things to happen a lot faster. They can look at crypto and it goes down with massive volatility. That's not actually fun to do. That's not that for me. I'm not interested in that. But that's too stressful. I'm interested in companies that are like, they're literally building a company. It isn't just an investment. It's not just a trade. This is going to be, it has the potential, I should say, of being a very significant company with the helium they have. We also hinted that last time that they have that code with the government. So it looks like they'll be a seller to the government. And they've also hinted at helium-3. So will that come out in the next couple of weeks, months, this quarter? I don't know, but we'll get more into that and what helium-3 is as well. But there's a lot brewing under there. And just because you don't see a news release, believe me, the amount of work they've been doing for years, even prior to this, to make this a from ground to delivery to literally sales is amazing. This isn't just this isn't a fly by night thing. It isn't, hey, we got lucky. This is a huge business model they put forward, and they're knocking out of the park. I mean, they really are hitting each milestone and doing what they said they're going to do. And hopefully we'll get to have the CEO, Robert Rolfing, on again soon with an update. I want to leave them alone right now because they are doing all the data right now, and there's a lot of work going on. But we will reach out to them when it's appropriate, and we'll see what they've got. But listen, it remains to be my number 1 for a good reason.
Yeah, no, it's a very clear reason why it's such a favorite of both you and I, and they've got a great team over there. They continue to check boxes, and that's what we love to see. I'm going to move on to GMG, which had some more exciting news today as well, and that's the energy savings. It was verified by a third party, did some tests on their thermal XR air conditioning system, and gave back some really promising results. Mainly, the one that got me most excited was a 52% energy savings calculated by using their system. Now, that's really encouraging. And just to give people an idea of the scale of that, in Australia alone, the energy cooling market, I mean, Australia, it gets hot down there. It gets really hot. It's a $60 billion industry. And the kind of market that GMG could hit just in Australia out of this is equivalent to about $12 billion, which is massive opportunity for revenue. And if they're putting out numbers like that, 52% energy savings, they're making themselves a clear-cut option to go with moving forward. So really exciting news on that front.
And once again, this isn't we think, or this may, or it could. This is like the assay results. They've come back. Here's the data. We have the data now. So this is the difference between when you read any article on any subject matter where it says this could have this effect, this might have this effect, there could be a potential that this could save lives. that's meaningless chatter. You need to have the actual data. They have now their assays or their data. It's come back. They've shown that this works, that the savings are huge. It's enormous. And they're working primarily, you can see, with these HVACs, making coatings alongside for energy savings and more efficiency, but also works along with the coils as well. So we barely ever talk about this arm of GMG, which is almost a standalone business on its own, because we're so caught up in their, once again, not maybe might could with their actual results as a data back from their batteries. So this company, it stormed out of the gate very quickly. It's pie in the sky. Like, let's see what happens with it. But it's once again, it's been proven. It's not a matter of I hope it comes back good, and then we'll get I think what the market's looking at now, they see that they're building out their factory is, okay, you've got this technology. Can you guys do the next step? Can you make a big deal? Can you guys produce this? Are you going to produce it at mass scale or industrial scale? What's the next step? What's the vision? And we know that they just partnered up with the firm out of New York for, was it $9 million?
Yes, yeah, and I'm blanking on the name too. For some reason.
I can't. It's
a Monday morning.
I know, I know it's terrible, but this is a huge U.S. firm. So that they've attracted that group. They've got the money for that. So they obviously feel confident in their ability to start actually industrial production of the batteries. But this coating as well, it's such a huge market. I mean, if you look at anywhere that requires air conditioning, and Australia is the obvious one, but you look through all the Middle East, anywhere in Africa, in the States, and South America. I mean, it's a huge market. And when you have that kind of efficiency, that kind of savings, that is an ESG deal. I mean, that's going to attract these companies that want to fulfill those kind of goals and needs and get that message out to people that, listen, we're making the products you have today better, and we're providing the actual solutions that you need, and we're doing it in the best space possible in the market. You've got highly motivated, intelligent people with strong track records that have done very well in business in the past. This management team and board over at GMG, I have absolute confidence that they can deliver this, and they're getting rewarded in the market. But they are sitting on a huge potential right now. We'll see what comes of it, but I would suspect there's a lot happening there. When they have news, we'll be all over it. And once again, I want to reiterate, this is data. This is actual results, it's pie in the sky at this point to see what they can do.
Yeah, and it's important to kind of hammer home the point of, this is just now a second one of their kind of 8 really main products that they've got going on. That, I mean, there's so much opportunity here. And it was Cantor Fitzgerald that put in $10 million as well.
Fitzgerald. Thank you, Austin.
It took us a minute to get going, but we got there.
Yeah, I've only had one coffee this morning, so
you got to get a second one going ASAP. But no, really, really strong results for them, and can't wait to see what they're going to continue to do, because it's been an awesome few months since they went public back into the beginning of June?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, they came out of the gates firing, and these are one of these materials, and out of the box thinking type stuff, not unlike helium, where graphene is used. It was 10, 11 years ago that a Nobel Prize was awarded for this wonder material, but it's taken this long really to take something that they knew could work in certain ways to then get industrial application. And this is what happens often. I love to read like phys.org, a lot of science journals. I'm a bit of a geek that way. I love it because you're getting to see a bit of the future. It's kind of like seeing a concept car. Like sometimes you see the concept car and you think, why can't we drive that today? And you go, well, because we don't have it. We can't industrially make that on a large scale of these cool cars that can do this, this, and this. We can do it, but it takes time. And it seems to be almost like a 10-year lag of between knowing something can work and then can we actually make it feasible. And there's a lot of this happening right now. There's a lot of this in different spaces happening. And it'll make sense why you see a lot of this big grab on data, on say health passports, this type of stuff, because it's going to be the interconnectedness of everything. And where that's vital is that it's great because it can maximize and efficiently maintain, say with a health passport, and I'll leave the vaccines out. What's great about something like that is that you can give permission to a doctor. They can pull up your screen automatically. And even if you got hit by a car, they can pull up on a screen an emergency. What are you allergic to? What's health? I mean, it's amazing. So there's so much good that can be done. But where this comes into play, and what this is called is a twin, like a virtual twin of who you are, and you can give access to, say, with a life insurance company, if they are doing a check on your medical, they don't have to call your doctor, wait for them to send forms, have a talk with them. They can get it right away if you give permission. Yeah. They can do a what do you call it? Look through your course, underwrite you, boom, you've got life insurance. Smart contract done. It's all done within minutes. This is cool. This is great because it makes it efficient. It takes out time, costs, and savings. Amazing. The key part to that, though, is that the person has rights and has the right to choose who they give permission that information. No one has permission, and it's the Nuremberg Code. No one has permission to ask you your medical status. We'll leave that for a separate talk, but that's currently in the news. It's in the news because this is where they're going. Is this kind of push to have that data and control over you, and no one has the right to that. You have the right to your own data, your own information. You have control over that. You're your own person, and it does matter. And we'll talk more as we're developing this story, because we've talked about all of these things being interconnected. You can see how it's being interconnected now slowly, but this is how it's being interconnected and how crucial it is. Who has control over that? And never should it be a government. I mean, never should it be a corporation. I wouldn't hand over, all of my information to a corporation. That's literally insane. That should be something that it's you. I mean, that's who you are. If you have a virtual twin that holds all of your information, that's you. It's yours, and you can give permission to people. Yeah. So it's just something to keep in your mind, because you're going to see more of that moving forward here.
No, you're absolutely right with that. And actually, one thing that I forgot to mention when we were finishing up the GMG talk there is they've got a webinar on September 2nd. Yes. And for anyone who's on our social medias has probably seen the posts about that already, but reach out to Andrew or I. We'll send you the link for that. You can sit in. They're going to have their whole management team. They're going to be laying out the plan for the next few months, going over some exciting updates. So anyone who's interested, it's September 2nd. I believe it's 5 p.m. Eastern time. But for anyone who's interested, reach out to us. We'll get you a link for it, and we're going to be listening in and getting excited about that as well.
Yes, excellent. I'm glad you brought that up, and we'll send it off to our list. Make sure you sign up. If you want to get access to this type of stuff, sign up on our website. Reach out to us. Send an email to Andrew or Austin at Supercharged Stocks. The last thing I want to leave off with is it's a funny one, but also it's a real application. But it's a funny one, and bravo to this young 12-year-old. He's earned $400,000 on selling NFTs online to people, and it's literally a digital whale. Like, it's kind of like it's done in logo. Like, it's terrible. I listen, I'm not going to make fun of his quote unquote art, but there you get a picture of what his art is. So he's made $400,000 selling those pictures online, virtually, with these NFTs. And so, Austin, give me your first kind of feedback on that.
What I saw a great meme over the weekend. It's that little like kid crying, and it's when you're trading portfolios down 30% on the month, and you're hearing a 12-year-old just made $500,000 on NFT. There's a little bit of that. I mean, God, great for him. I hope it's clearly going well. I hope it continues to go well. The NFT thing it's a craze right now, and it's because you got a lot of popular people are getting involved in doing it, whether it's through TikTok or Instagram or stuff like that. You see influencers getting involved with it. Famous people are creating NFTs and then selling them, and it's become this real bulldozer kind of since the beginning of the year. But it's incredible, and it just shows there are opportunities for everyone. We talk about finding your market and developing your model, and it doesn't necessarily have to follow the one that we have. If your model is I'm going to draw whales and sell them for $500,000, unbelievable, good for you. But it's developing that and knowing that's your path, and I think it's incredible. But God, it's also hilarious too when you can think about the
Yes.
logistically. Me at 12 years old, if I had $400,000 from selling my paintings, I did some very nice stick figure drawings of you back in the day, but I don't think those
Yeah.
ever saw the light of day.
No, but that's where the world is going. But and listen, I'm super impressed. What an amazing little 12-year-old. And we're gonna give him a shout out. His name is Benjamin Ahmed. And I mean, this is so impressive for a kid. He's inspired by playing Minecraft, like a lot of kids are. And he sold this out overnight. Now, when you look at the art kind of side of this, I completely look at it as being absolutely pointless and useless. Like, yes, and we'll get into the nuances of it maybe a little bit later, but I'll just say this. You can put royalties on these things, on some of them, if you're the creator. And if it's something like you own a Bitcoin image, like the Bitcoin image, and in your NFT contract, you're allowed to charge a fee every time it's posted, okay, there's a revenue stream. But to own it for the sake of art, it isn't. It isn't. I mean, you can be duplicated immediately, quickly, and slightly altered, so you don't have to pay someone that. The reason why art is expensive, and I mean actual art, not what do you call it? Pop art. Actual art is that it's part of history. It's one of a kind. You can replicate and reproduce them, and people do. And the forgeries can look almost identical. It's hard to tell. I mean, there's even some experts out there that say 20% of the art that we see out there are forgeries already. But you're buying the actual work of someone's talent, and it took that much effort and work. You can make an NFT in literally seconds, post it up there, take a photo of something. Oh, it's an NFT. So if you're you're a tulip. So it's a tulip. Now, where it doesn't become a tulip, as I kind of mentioned, was the royalty side. And what it is an NFT is a smart contract. So it is that when you take that surface level of silliness away, you look at the NFT as a smart contract in which you can embed whatever criteria. And it doesn't mean you can always have a resale value. But right now, a lot of these have this contract in them embedded in the code of this picture. That'll say if someone resells this, there's a kickback to the original creator. You can also put in there a royalty. So if you have where it's big and popular isn't like sports decks, like Top Deck, like sports cards. So if it is that you are the creator and owner and can write royalties into anytime someone ever pointing that picture of that card, well, yeah, that's super valuable.
Absolutely.
Because you can track it. If I go to use that image, you have to pay for it. You go into Shutter, you go into wherever, you go to Pro Deck, or you go to whoever sells these cards, and you go, listen, every time you use that image, we're charging you, or whatever, and it'll be just leasing out images. It's a little bit petty, to be perfectly honest. I think that everything now, whether it's a quote, whether it's this, it's all going to be monetized. I mean, it's kind of gross the way that the world is going, but it is a market. And what's interesting is the smart contract behind the scenes behind it. And that's where it's really key. This young kid too, smart kid, he like I said, he's got a model and he's not cashing out. He could take that cash, but he's like, I'm not interested in fiat currency. I love it. Like, I just love it. And he's going to keep it in Ethereum. So you know what? Good on him. If there's one side that I prefer, I don't really care for Bitcoin as much. I like Ethereum because once again, you're talking smart contracts. There's an application to be used on these things. Anyways, it's a funny story with a couple different angles and, very strong opinions on this NFT thing. And, I look at it, from that surface level where it looks absolutely ridiculous and absurd to, wait a second. No, there could be an application here depending on what's embedded in this contract.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a really interesting and exciting story. And no matter the way that you kind of feel about it, is to look at that saying, wow, the innovation taken by a 12-year-old to go and do this, that's really cool to me, regardless of what you think of NFTs and that whole model. That's just a really cool and good for him. And hey, good for video games. It's a good, yet one for the gamers. He came up with this idea playing Minecraft and figured out a way to make it work. So that's really cool to me.
He just took like creating your own little lemonade stand like to an unreal level.
Yes, yeah. I was not that level of entrepreneur when I was 12. So all the power
and regardless, even if you think it's a silly image and it's ridiculous, he sold this overnight. So it doesn't matter. Like even if it is and ends up being a whole tulip mania, he's done it. He's sold it. He's out, and he's in the currency, or he's not currency. He's in the asset that he wants. He's in Ethereum. So once again, good on you.
and $94,000 every time someone sells one of those whales now as well for him. So
yes, he gets a kickback. So it's very good.
That's great.
Beautiful. So here we go. End of the month. We're getting ready for the fall. It's going to come in. It's going to be weird and wacky times. I'm going to tell you, not to be a downer, but we haven't even started the craziness that's coming. But there's a lot of money to be made as well, and we're quite confident in the companies we're working with, the ones we're talking to. So if you want to know more, you got to reach out to us. I always talk about the ones we obviously love, but we want to build a community with people where we're in behind the scenes, having these conversations with people and helping them find some other companies and stories of their own that they want to follow. But that's what we're trying to build here. And we're not always going to be on here giving away a lot of these great companies that we feel very strong about.
Yeah, no, it's exciting times ahead. Yeah, make sure you guys are liked, subscribed, sign up to the website. So much exciting news coming out. We're getting excited. We're ramping things up. September is going to be a huge month. Really looking forward to it. And let's have a great week, everybody. Perfect. Take care, Andrew.